A lot of people ask, what kind of soil should you use in your raised flower bed? And it's a really good question because first of all, when you see the raised flower beds, they're quite big. And if suddenly you think you have to go out and buy potting soil for this entire system here, it's going to be really expensive. A lot of people also just want to use regular soil from their garden, and that's a possibility, but then isn't that soil going to be too heavy, too compact? And that's also true. So what do you do? What we've done here and what we find that works is to start with your high bed and to put something else in the bottom. That can be broken pots, it can be sticks, it could be leaves, it could be anything that sort of saves you that bit of space. From there, you can use regular dirt from your garden. It doesn't have to be expensive potting soil or expensive seed starting soil or anything like that. Just use regular soil. In fact, what we used in here when we first created these flower beds, we just used the turf. We dug up the sod and the grass, we flipped it over, and we put it in here. Extremely, extremely heavy stuff. But what do you do next? From there, we added a layer of compost, and this is really where the secret sauce is. We make our own compost. We collect it from the organic material within our house. You can also buy it. You put a small layer around 3 centimeters on top before you plant anything else. So this is the big trick. You start with that heavy soil, something's in the bottom, and then you put that layer of compost and you leave it until you get ready to plant. Now, this layer of compost can also be leaves that you've collected from in the autumn. Leave those in a plastic bag, really let them get sweaty and start breaking down, and put those. Either way, you're going to leave this layer around 3 centimeters and let it start breaking down and start falling into the soil. When it comes time to planting, this is when you start working it in. So now the soil under that compost has already started loosening up and getting more rich with this organic matter. You can start blending it in. You can also add clay pebbles. You could even add any type of a small stone just to get some more air in that soil. And that's really what you want. If your soil is too compact, the roots have nowhere to go, and the water, when it rains, or when you water it, is just going to stay on that top level and never reach those roots. So in fact, the roots would just be suffocating, they'd be dying of thirst. Instead, by mixing in that compost, which is great for the plant, mixing in those clay pebbles and those small stones, gets the air pockets, gives the water somewhere to go, and then gives the roots a place to grow. So, can you use regular soil from your garden in your raised bed? Yes. Do you have to do something to it? Yes, and it's as easy as a layer of compost and a few pebbles.